On today's episode of the Film Breakdown Show, we talk this Kansas City Chiefs offense, RPOs, horizontal stretch, and how do you stop Patrick Mahomes? It's going to be tough, but I think the Commanders can get it done. And we talk about this defense, how to game plan just in general and what they do well. It all starts right now. Welcome to the Film Breakdown Show. I'm Logan Paulson here with just the guy Jason, producer Jason, everyone's favorite no-face personality off to the side here. What's going on, buddy?
It's going to remain that way. This face will remain off screen, but we were talking before we started here, and I got some spicy questions for you this episode.
You do have some spicy questions. So we're going to start with our Kansas City preview, and I'm just going to try, when I do these, I try to capture what their offense is at its most basic level. And I'll start with first and second down. And to me, what it is like this RPO. They love RPO. They have the highest RPO rate in the NFL. First off, what is RPO? It is a run-pass option. So basically, you're going to get the back kind of running off here to the offensive right. You're going to get some type of Travis Kelce amoeba route here. And we're going to really try and isolate this player who is a run-fit player. So he's got to fit this gap here off to the edge here. But we can't let him do it right away. We want to kind of make him hold his breath for a second, and that's what the run-pass option's for. So a lot of people get run-pass option confused with like zone read, for example. Zone read, the quarterback's reading the defensive end, and he's going to hand the ball off to the running back, and he's going to run it himself. Now, in modern NFL, they've got a third element, which is the triple option where the quarterback can hand it. They can hand the ball off like this. Let me clear that out for a second. They can hand the ball off here. They can throw the ball there, or they can run it themselves. They run a little bit of that. I think if you guys remember the Super Bowl from a couple years ago versus the 49ers, Patrick Mahomes did that. So not all RPOs are triple option. Not all triple option is zone read. So they'd have a little bit of everything in this offense. But on first down, they're going to do an RPO. So let's just
when you say RPO, real quick, just to clarify, make sure I'm understanding what you're saying. It just means that the offense, the quarterback's making a decision, but the offense is either going to run the ball or pass it based off the decision the quarterback made. Doesn't necessarily mean the quarterback has to run it.
Correct. Yeah, and that's we're getting into semantics there a little bit, but that's exactly what that is. So let's just take a look at why this is so challenging to deal with. We're going to get our motion across. These 6 guys here, Jason, are going to block the run. They're blocking for the run 100%. They don't know if it's going to be the ball is going to be run or pass, right? Now, this is exactly why it's so hard to deal with. Look at this guy right here. See how he's kind of in between? He's kind of playing, he's apexing, they call it. He's in between the tackle and the receiver, kind of in that perfect spot. Patrick Mahomes delivers the ball, and we're able to fall forward for about 7 yards. So to me, this is a really excellent run. I would characterize this as a run for them. Even though they're throwing the football, this is how they want to run the football. They want to stress you horizontally, the width of the field, and the best way they've determined to do that is with an RPO and getting the ball out here and making it tough for you to defend the grass. So that's one example, right? And they do it all the time. I think they're what I said, they're the highest rate in the NFL for RPOs. And to me, this is a really good example, another example of an RPO and why it creates so much conflict. They're going to get in this tight bunch here to the top of the screen. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to run here. Patrick Mahomes is going to read the hook player. This time, I think he hands it off. It ends up being, again, a first down run. This is maybe the next play in the sequence. So that looks like nothing. But watch, when we go to the end zone, look at this. Watch this hook player here. So first off, they're on the hurry up. You can tell that because this guy's set, the center's set. They're getting ready to snap the football, and all these guys on the other side are still working around. So that's another thing they do. They like to use a little bit of tempo. So watch this player here. Watch 0. This guy's Devin Lloyd's having a really good year. But watch the conflict this puts him in. Watch the things he's thinking about. Look at his body language. He's like, wait, I know it's a run, but it might be an RPO. And so you've blocked that player without actually putting a hat on him. And so this is the type of stuff where you say, like, well, what's the best way to defend an RPO? And to me, let's go back to the wide. It's when you just say, hey, we're going to play man coverage. We're going to lock these things up. Because again, usually they're running like kind of some short routes. We're going to play man coverage here. Eliminate the gray for the coverage guys, and then we're going to have these players in here be the run fit guys. And it just cleans it up. And that's why you see a lot of people, again, when they play Commanders, we run a lot of RPO, a lot of pre-snap run alerts. You play man coverage, it makes it easier for those guys on the perimeter, and it avoids this kind of unusual response from the defense where it's like, what do I do? Where do I fit? And again, he's getting to that football, and it's too late. It's already a first down. So Couple things to look at there: the RPO element, the conflict it puts on the defense, the horizontal stress, and also the tempo. This is who they want to be on first down. They're not like a downhill, run at your face kind of team. This is how they want to do it. They want to get after you this way. So best way to stop it, in my opinion, or at least historically the best way to stop it, is with man coverage. Then what's the problem if you use man coverage? No one's accounting for the quarterback, and that's where that true zone read or that true RPO or the true triple option becomes a difficult thing to deal with, right? Is when now you've no longer accounted for the quarterback. The Commanders have used it. Kansas City's used it in select moments. And so, again, that's where like the layers to their run game become really complicated.
When is the quarterback, in this case, Patrick Mahomes, in our case, Jaden Daniels, or Marcus Mariota, depending on who plays, when are they making the decision whether to pass or to hand the ball off here? Is it pre-snap based on formation? Is it post-snap? Is it a split-second decision? Is it within the flow of the play? They can make the decision at the last minute. Like when is that decision to hand the ball off on this play?
So I think that's a really good question. And the answer is sometimes they're reading it, sometimes they're not. Like this one to me feels like it might be a predetermined handoff because the guy that he's reading, right, at least, as like on paper he'd be reading, is this guy right here. He doesn't move, right? So technically they have hats here. They have 1, 2 to block 1, 2, and then the ball carrier's the extra guy. Like, we're cooking with gas here, right? This guy's got to rally from inside out to make this tackle. Like, I like the RPO here quite a bit. But I'm sure there's some type of rule where it's like, hey, if it's, second and short, right, we're going to try to hand the football off if we have to, right? Because he should be handing this off, right? But we go back to this other one. I think you can see the exact benefit of the RPO, right? He's reading this player. This guy takes a step inside, watch his feet come inside. Patrick Mahomes says, cool, we'll take advantage of that. I'll dish this out. We'll get 8 yards. So this one feels like a true run pass option. This one feels like this is just window dressing for the run to protect it. So I think that's the other kind of fun thing is they have different variations of it, right? They major in this. So just like Kyle Shanahan majors in the outside zone, these guys major in this. There's a lot of little wrinkles that they have to kind of maximize it. And again, you see the impact of this when you go to the end zone one more time on just the threat of it. Like, watch these defensive linemen. These defensive linemen have no responsibility for the RPO. But watch this guy, this player right here, this 3 technique, play out of his gap. He plays back because he's worried about the quarterback keeping it, right? And then all of a sudden, we get this nice alley here for the runner. This guy's being held by the pass action. Both these guys are worried about the quarterback, which they shouldn't be. These guys right here are worried about the quarterback, which they shouldn't be, and we get a nice, easy 8-yard gain. It's really well designed, and they run an absolute ton of it.
All right, so that's how the play works. Tell me how you defend that.
Yeah, so I think you get man coverage is what I would say, right? I know that's something that like maybe fans don't want to hear after the last couple of weeks, but think about it. If we're in man coverage, let's just take this end zone angle, and we just make it nice and simple. I've got him, I've got the back, or the quarterback, and I've got here. Like, it just cleans it up across the board for everybody. There's no worry. I don't have to read. I don't have to be in between. I'm not a run-fit player. This is my work. It makes it a lot cleaner for them to handle that. So you see, again, go back to last year for the Commanders. We run a lot of RPO. Or like, it's not a true RPO. It's a run with a screen alert. Let's call it like that. You play man coverage on that, the numbers are never going to be really good for the screen, right? So I'm going to hand the football off. And I'm handing the football off into a 6-man box, which is what I want because we only have 5 blockers. So I can kind of dictate to the offense, say, hey, we're not going to deal with that. We're going to play your game. We're not going to give you someone to read. We're not going to let you block somebody with the ball action here. So that's how I'd say. How comfortable are you versus team? I'd say you should be relatively comfortable. Obviously, Rashid Rice is back. He's kind of their man coverage winning guy. So that makes it a little bit more complicated. But these are the conversations you have every single week in terms of how to deal with personnel and how to stop certain concepts offensively. Cool? All right, so now let's get into what I think is the base element. So RPO is what they want to do in terms of running the football. They want to put you in conflict, stretch you horizontally, right? To me, this is who they want to be all the time. And let me explain. So they're going to come down here. They're going to run a little choice route with Travis Kelce. He's going to run a corner. He's going to run a little choice and kind of sit it down right in there. This is not complicated. Every team in the NFL runs it. They just run it better than everybody else. Watch, he's going to come up. He feels zone. You see this zone coverage here. These guys are pushing out. They're dropping into zones. It's soft coverage. He feels it. He's just going to sit down right over the ball, and he's going to catch a little stick. Perfect. Boom. We got to rally and tackle in this game. That's really why this clip's on here, because they get their explosive plays, 90% of their explosive plays off of missed tackles and then yak opportunities, right? That ends up being classified as an explosive play in that offense. Everybody in the league runs this play. It's simple. We got to eliminate the yards after catch by rallying with these players here, vice tackling. Dan Quinn talks about this all the time. Number 46 right here should hit this with his left shoulder. This guy should hit it with his right shoulder, like a vice. Sandwich that guy right in between. Hold your leverage. See how he loses his leverage? Number 46, Jason, he's playing over the top here. He's playing this way. Run right through there. Run right through there. No yards after contact. Limit those explosive opportunities, right? That's imperative because they're going to run screens. They're going to run draws. They're going to run RPOs. They're going to run these little sticks, slants, stuff underneath. You have to tackle. Have to tackle at a really high level in this football game because so much of their offense is built off yards after catch opportunities.
Yeah, good thing we have a linebacker on our team that's second in the NFL in tackles.
And he doesn't miss tackles usually, right? Because he takes good angles and he knows what he's doing. So that's what I'd say. Like, this is not complicated. It's not super, like their offense, everyone thinks, oh, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a lot of quick game, a lot of this choice routes, a lot of option routes, RPOs, screens. That's 90% of what they do, right? And then they get their big chunk explosive plays when Patrick Mahomes is dealing. We're going to talk about that right now. But to me, this encapsulates what they do. Tackle, rally, know and understand what they're trying to do, and let's take it away. So now let's get to the thing that I think a lot of people associate with this offense, and it's Patrick Mahomes being an absolute baller. So Jacksonville does a really good job on this. Let's just watch the clip real quick. They get we always talk about protections on third downs, right? And actually, I don't think Kansas City does a very good job here in terms of getting this targeted, right? So we're going to fast forward that. You see how we mic'd this guy over here. He's saying this is the rusher we want to point to. We're going to make this, we're going to slide the protection to him. I think this is what they do here. Let's watch. So they slide. Oh, no, they slide away, actually. Interesting. So they slide this way. Boom, we're sliding this way. Slide this way. And then they overload the man side, which is we always talk about. If you can find the man side in a pass protection, you can win the down. They bring 4 to this side. They get a free runner to the quarterback. Patrick Mahomes falls back and delivers an absolute baller throw here to get this out. The reason I put this on here is because of this dude's, I mean, everyone knows what he's good at. His ability to elevate this offense is the thing that I find really special because it's really flat. Like think about it, what I just talked about. There's choices, there's option routes, it's all kind of horizontal yards after catch stuff. Their explosive opportunities when they're like going down the field are him breaking a tackle, him extending a play, him doing some nonsense like this and getting the receiver to make a play for him down the field. Like this is the thing that gives them that like little bit of spark that allows them to do all of that kind of, I don't know, boring stuff is the word I'm going to use on first and second down. So let's go to the wide so you can see it a little bit better. This is again, we're going to get the protection targeted. They're going to kind of run like a fire zone pressure here. They're going to drop some guys out. You see these guys dropping out, fire zone, drop out. He understands that this is man coverage on the perimeter. Man. This in cut is taking away this post safety. This guy has no help. He knows I can kind of put up a hope and a prayer and throws a football that, again, is not perfect, but this is the thing that gives them their like non-offensive explosive plays when he is elevating outside of structure, kind of doing special stuff. What's up, Jason?
I'm feeling a little spicy.
You are spicy.
All right. So my spiciness is I'm not questioning Patrick Mahomes and how good he is.
Yep.
I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is this looks like a hope and a prayer throw, and talk me off that ledge, because if you're anybody but Patrick Mahomes, or if this ball gets intercepted, we're not talking about how great of a play this is, because the ball's underthrown by a good 15 yards. Like, you should keep running. That ball should be in the end zone. Receiver makes a heck of a play coming back. He's throwing this ball. You're saying he sees this coverage, but right there, he decides that ball is going.
Watch, but the coverage is
right
declared.
There. He's going with the ball right there. Like, I get what you're saying, but that to me looks like, oh, it's one-on-one over there. Here's a heave, go make a play.
But that's good football. That's good quarterback play.
So a lot of quarterbacks will do that, and their receiver won't make a play, and they'll get chewed out.
No,
so like, okay, so talk me through
I'd push back a little bit. Like this again, like he's, like you said, like we were talking before, like he's earned these opportunities to make these plays, but this is elite recognition, elite playmaking. Like I said, we kind of messed up with our protection here. We're going to get a free run to the quarterback. Where's my line? We messed up with the protection. We're going to get a free run to the quarterback. He gets back here. This is elite recognition, probably pre-snap. When that guy's attaching to this route, I know that there's so much grass back here. There's so much grass. My guy's one-on-one. So the second that he pushes past, this guy's eyes are not on the quarterback anymore. They're on the receiver. They're over here. They're worried about getting beat. So when you talk to elite quarterbacks, like guys that have played for a long time, one of the things they talk about is when the defender's back is to you, every advantage is to the receiver because they're actually looking for the football. So he knows that I just have to get this ball up in the general vicinity because I have a guy that has the advantage. So we're always talking about like finding percentages, finding advantages, finding statistical benefit to you. This is a statistical benefit to the offense. I just got to get the ball out. And so I think this is where it's like the big time opportunities that he provides is this natural playmaking ability that is very unique to him. And you see it, like the offense is in 3rd and 5 and everybody's covered. He scrambles for a first down. There's a play, I forget who they were playing against. I think it was Las Vegas where it was against Jacksonville. He's getting sacked. He steps out of a sack and just finds Hollywood Brown over the middle of the field for a 30-yard completion. Like it's that kind of stuff that where he's playing the percentages. Maybe he's not a computer. He's not playing them in the moment, but like over the course of the game, those opportunities really add up and he does a good job of finding them.
All right. So let me strongman this back. Make sure I understand what you're saying. Mm-hmm. All right. Or steelman. So you're saying that Patrick Mahomes is one of the greats, the best in the game right now, because he's got the triple crown, basically. He's got the arm, he's got the athletic ability, and he's got the smarts. And in this play right here, it's the smarts.
Yeah.
I know what this coverage is, so I'm going to give it an opportunity, whereas somebody else takes a sack there.
Yeah, and I think that's your ability to not take a sack here at fringe red zone, make an explosive play out of it when you've messed up the protection is really like you're elevating offense, right? We've overcome a lot of obstacles and we've made a positive play out of it.
Right. It's like a high-end poker player.
Yeah.
Right? Like I may not have, pocket queens or whatever. I got what I got, but I know that the percentage based off the river is going to be high if I stay in here.
And he just always
putting it out there.
And he always seems to be able to tip the deck in his favor, which is the annoying thing about him. And why he's so frustrating to play him. It's the same thing with like, it looks way different, but it's the same thing with like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. They did it in a different way. They tipped the deck in their favor in a different way. But that's the thing that makes him special is the ability to elevate. Right.
And how do you stop it? Like in some cases, it's just.
Well, that's the thing is like the offense in general, to me, at least to my eye, is relatively conservative. So it's about when that moment comes, not freaking out and knowing that, hey, we can manage the rest of this offense. He's going to get his. And I think the other thing too that I would, if I was the defensive coordinator, I was like, we just got to play the down to completion. Because there's times where he's getting out of sacks. There's times where he's getting ready to scramble, run and finish to the football. Like just make it hard for him to find those moments. You know what I'm saying? Make it a little bit like, let's go back and look at this for a second. Like this pressure right here, right? It's well designed. Watch number 42 though. He's the guy that ends up getting hit on the quarterback. He's expecting to get blocked by the back. Can you just run a little bit harder? Can you trust that the protection is going to get there and the back's not going to pick you up? Can you just believe in it a little bit more so that we're not a half step late and we get this hit on the quarterback a little bit sooner? It's inches with him. And so every inch when you're playing a guy like this matters and counts. And I think that's the thing that's so frustrating about him is he forces you to be at that level of good defensively.
All right, Logan, we're short on time, so talk to me real quick about this defense.
Yeah, defense. So again, the defense I thought we'd just talk real quick about kind of game planning and this is a very unique formation. It's an unbalanced formation with an extra offensive lineman. They put Penei Sewell over here, the offensive left. He's usually the right tackle. So when you're game planning, you're looking for consistent threads. And I think this is a really good example of this, right? So if you go to the end zone here, check it out. So watch when they shift. Watch what 51 does. He moves to the inside. So I say, okay, if I want to run a run and they always do this to this motion, or they always do this to this formation, we have really good angles to overtake and block this guy right here, right? We have good positioning. So then I say, okay, well, how do they play the coverage? They're in this kind of quarters coverage, which they like to be in. I can't tell if it's quarters or if it's late rotation single high. Whatever it is, you're going to get some type of late rotation weak here away from the tight end. You see this guy, how he's right here. And they're going to ask that the receiver, if it's run 2, go in and crack this guy. He's really aggressive downhill, number 23, right? So he's going to run real fast on the snap downhill, and he is a run-fit player. Boom, he's in there, right? You see how it's hard for 14 to block him? So if I'm game planning, one, I know we can run outside zone to that side, to that nub side. The other thing I know is that if we show any kind of run action, this guy is so aggressive downhill. What happens if we just bluff this and then run a go? Who's going to cover him? Because the thing about this run fit is that if I crack this player now is in the run fit. So we can put them in conflict based on formation and alignment just because of how they want to fit this defense. And to me, that's really good game planning. Is when you say, man, if you go to the end zone, watch, you can see it here a little bit too, right? So this player, number 51, he is a C gap player, meaning the D gap player is the safety that's off the screen back here. We can exploit this. We can take advantage of this. And these are the things in game plan where you're using formation and you're using motions and shifts to find advantages. And so the reason I think that Detroit saw this is if you go to the second play here, check it out. This is the same exact front, and watch the run that they run. This guy moves down to a 4-eye, moves inside of that tackle, and watch, they run outside zone here for like a 6-yard gain. We're going to get this combination. We're going to work up to the linebacker. Because again, we have good leverages here. We have good angles just based on the formation. And this is, again, when you're game planning, this is the stuff you're thinking about. You see how we get the crack here by the receiver. They are outmanned, out leveraged here. So when you're like studying film in the week, this is the type of stuff you want to look at and say, hey, how do we find these edges? How do we find these advantages? Because this defense is really good, but they're really, really, really sound, and they're going to play their rules really well. So here we go. Nice little run here. Ends up being a gash. And so then I say, hey, well, maybe we got a little more time. We can run a play action pass here coming down the pipe. So just wanted to show you kind of a little peek behind the veil there in terms of how you would game plan for a team. And again, that's a really unique formation, so it's a little bit easier to see. But in their base defense, they have rules, they have holes that you can exploit and take advantage of. All right. So now let's talk about kind of their meat and potatoes, like why they're good, why they're a good football team here. Let's take a look. So they're going to do this. They're going to be in like this all-out pressure look, right? They're going to play a little bit of man. You see how we're bringing all this pressure here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys blitzing. This is all out. This is basically zero. We're going to play man on the perimeter. Man on the perimeter is really tough because I think this is a win by our guy. What's his name? Number 14? I forget his name. Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's a win. The ball's out, going to the right person. But why is the ball incomplete on 4th and 2? Let's take a look at it. And it's really because they did a good job with designing this pressure. So we're going to get here. We're going to bring our overload to this side of the offensive formation. We've ensured one-on-ones with our best defensive player. Great job right here. Great job by 51, understanding how the slide's going to go. Watch him beat the center across his face. And we get 2 guys winning their one-on-ones to the quarterback. So in these big moments, basically is what I'm saying, they find ways defensively to tip the deck in their favor and win a bunch of one-on-ones. They're very sound. They're very well executed. All these guys have been in the defense for multiple years, right? Very impressive. But that's the thing I think that separates them in these big moments is, like when you look at their defensive rankings, they're kind of right in the middle of the pack. But in the big moments, they find ways to make a play. And I actually thought the Detroit Lions came and kind of got after their butt a little bit here in this game, but you didn't know it because the Kansas City Chiefs won on 4th down twice in this game. They won on 3rd down a bunch in this game. That's where they find their edge in those winning time moments. And so what's Cliff's plan for them? I can't wait to check it out. That's going to do it for the Film Breakdown Show. Appreciate you guys as always. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Check us out on the YouTube channel. If you want us to keep doing this, we need more people to come watch. So tell your friends, tell your family, and have them come watch this thing. And if there's anything you want to see, leave it in the comments. Thanks so much, and that's it. This show was filmed at the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. Big Bear AI offers mission-ready AI for a rapidly evolving world, proudly protecting the Washington Commanders and its fans.